The level of effort that we expend to test something should be proportional to the likelihood and impact of a problem in that area, right? Which makes sense. Think of insurance. You buy insurance for things that you're worried about, right? You don't buy insurance for things that you're not worried about. The more worried you are about something, the more you're willing to spend on the insurance, right? The less worried you are about it, the less you're willing to spend on it. So testing is the same kind of thing. You know, we test because we're worried that there might be problems. The more worried we are, the more we should test, right? The sequencing aspect, it would be good to find the most important bugs on the first day of testing, right? And by the time you get to the last day of testing, all you're finding is trivialities. Now, you know, it's not necessarily going to work out that way, but you want to try to stack the deck so that you get as close to that outcome as possible, which is why you run the high-risk tests first and the low-risk tests later, okay? Now, when you start talking about this with people outside of technology groups, the more business-focused people, then you often run into this question of, well, why not just test everything, right? Just make sure it works before we ship it, right? I'm sure some of you have heard that before. Well, there are an infinite number of tests for any complex system. So, and I'm not using infinite here figuratively. I mean, literally, there are an infinite number of tests. And any of you who've ever taken finite mathematics course know how that works. That you can demonstrate, you can prove that there are an infinite number of tests. And you don't have an infinite amount of time. So what you've got is this big infinite cloud of possible tests, right? You show me a set of tests that you say is comprehensive, I can always find a way to generate another test that's not in that set. And so the cloud just... Now, what you don't want to do is wander around in the big infinite cloud until you run out of time. That's the worst way to select a finite number of tests from the cloud. You're going to select a finite number of tests. The question is, am I going to do it in a way that is transparent and explainable and universally acceptable to the people who are involved? Or is it going to be this opaque, inexplicable, confusing process of, you know, wandering around in the cloud until I run out of time? Okay? So, you know, keep in mind, in terms of what you could test, your coverage is always 0%. Okay? Any finite number divided by infinity is 0. So you're never going to get coverage of everything you could test. So what does that mean? That means we have to be extremely smart and extremely selective about what we choose to spend our time and effort on. And again, the order in which we choose to do it.